I'll start this month's episode with 3 pieces of film news. The most intriguing of these is that the much anticipated Angry Video Game Nerd, the movie, is now finished and has already been shown in a few select US cinemas. For those who don't know, the Angry Video Game Nerd is a character created by filmmaker James Rolfe over 10 years ago, who critiques bad games and online videos. But now the series has a big screen outing, and after the theatrical run ends, the film is getting a digital release on the 2nd of September. Second is the documentary Atari Game Over, which chronicles how boxes of ET cartridges for the Atari 2600, amongst other games and accessories, ended up buried in a New Mexico desert. Microsoft is creating the doc, and it will be released sometime this autumn. To round things off is the release of the documentary titled Video Games, the Movie, a 105-minute look at the entire history of gaming. The film is the product of a successful Kickstarter and can be seen from £3.49. On the subject of gaming history, a book has been made available called Memoirs of a Virtual Caveman and looks at some of the defining moments for the medium. It has interviews with people including David Crane and Howard Scott Warshaw, but does have a price tag of £17.19, or just over $29. It was also the Mega Drive's 25th anniversary this year, so with that comes a couple of pieces of tat that have been announced to celebrate it. The first are these Mega Drive Transformers, and the second come through a Kickstarter aiming to release a set of action figures in the shape of cartridges from the system. When writing this, it looks like it's about to fall a fair bit short of its target though. And to round off this segment of the show, here's a Super Mario Bros. Inspired aquarium, and also some soaps in the shape of game carts. Insert joke about gamer hygiene here. Not a huge amount to talk about in this section, but Nintendo Systems received, as usual, a trickle of ports during the month. The Wii U's eShop got the largest batch, with NES games Adventure Island and Mega Man 5, and then Poppin' Twinbee and Poppin' Twinbee Rainbow Bell Adventures on the SNES, as well as 2 Game Boy Advance titles, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland and Mega Man Battle Network. The 3DS, however, just got 1 title, but at least it's a surprisingly good one in the form of the Game Boy Color's Pokemon trading card game. Moving on to Sony's consoles, the Ratchet & Clank trilogy arrived on the PS Vita in Europe, which includes the first 3 PlayStation 2 games in the shooter platformer series. You can also buy the titles separately, if you so wish. The PlayStation 4 received the most exciting remake of the month through PSN too, Oddworld New and Tasty, a remake of the PlayStation classic Abe's Odyssey. The game will be coming to the Wii U, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, PS Vita, Windows, Mac and Linux later on this year. Another remake out in July was of ZX Spectrum's Slightly Magic, for iOS, Android, Linux, PC and Mac. It was quite a busy month for smartphones though, with a reimagining of Spy vs Spy for Android, and then 2 titles for both iOS and Android, a port of King of Fighters 98, and then Denny's Atari Remix, which offers fast food themed versions of Asteroids, Centipede and Breakout, called Hashtoroids, Centipup and Takeout respectively. To finish this section, there was also an update to the iPhone version of Secret of Mana, adding MFI controller and Retina display support. To start, the MP32C64 add-on was released, which brings MP3 game loading functionality to your Commodore 64, so there's no need for tapes, which is nice. Then there's the NES 30 Gamepad, a Bluetooth controller which allows you to play iOS, Android, Mac and PC titles using a Nintendo Entertainment System themed pad. Next, the Big Boy Advance, from the same man who brought us Project Unity, was completed, which allows Game Boy Advance titles to be played on a much larger screen. The steps required to create one yourself look more than a little complex, however. In more aesthetically pleasing news, Rose-Coloured Gaming are also to release these Super Famicom-inspired Game Boy Advances, but no release date has been set for them just yet. Next, a flash cartridge for the Intellivision was announced and will be released soon. Called the Left Turn Only Intellivision Flash Card, it will cost $119. A link cable for the Virtual Boy also turned up on Yahoo Auctions Japan, and ended up being sold for 300,000 yen. That's £1,700, 2,900 US dollars, or 3,100 Australian dollars. And before you ask, no, it can't be used with any of the system's games. At this stage, at least. Finally, the company behind the upcoming EasyCube Media Center has announced that the all-in-one box will allow expansions to enable you to play Mega Drive and SNES carts. You can find out more about the EasyCube by visiting its Indiegogo page, linked to in this video's description. Where better to start talking about Homebrew than the Bit Jam 2014 coding competition, which spawned several new games including Outland and Hyperspace Postal Service for the ZX Spectrum, Panocchi games on the MSX, and Save the Humour on the Amstrad CPC, amongst several others. A full list where you can download them all can be found in this video's description. Next is Sega Master System Brawl for the Mega Drive. Finally, Psycho Fox gets a chance to shine once again with his weird, deformed fist. Then there's a physical cartridge release of card and dice game collection Knight's Chance for the Neo Geo AES. The price tag might put you off though. And to finish up the new retro Homebrew releases this month is space-based platformer Kid Cadet 3 for the ZX Spectrum, and Tornado Blast for the Atari 2600. Yes, this was the best quality image I could find. There were 2 physical cart releases announced for the Mega Drive in July too, including one for the unlaunched shooter It Came From the Desert, and also Duke Nukem 3D. The latter is only coming out in Brazil though. Moving on, the incomplete version of the Windy Valley stage from Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast was cleaned up, finished, and inserted into the final version of the game, and the result can be downloaded online. 2 unreleased games were also made available in July. The first is a prototype of SNES title Buck Rogers, although, interesting fact time, the game did get an official launch without the license and was called Jim Power Lost Dimension in 3D. The second was the Japanese version of Monster Party for the NES, which is titled Parody World Monster Party. A fair few mods and patches were released and announced this month too. I'll start with one for Super Mario Bros. On the Lost Levels, which recreates the games with the new Super Mario Bros. Engine. Second is Brutal Doom, which does what it says on the tin really. It's just a much more intense and more polished version of the first-person shooter classic. Footage of V20 of this mod has been released, with this new version to become available soon. Third and finally, there was a hack of the Mega Drive's Streets of Rage 2, which enhances the game's colours. Outrun and Golden Axe for the same system both got similar treatment. And to finish up, a trailer for the unofficial port of Leisure Suit Larry for the NES was made available online. No release date has been given yet though. There were quite a few fan translations in July, with most of them boasting long and complicated names, which I always welcome. They include Game Boy titles Mahu Kishi Rei 2nd The Missing Colors and Wizardry Gaiden 3 Yama no Seaton, NES games 4 Nin Yuchi Mahjong, Diver Story 6 Imperial of Norsashia, and Hai no Tori Hohun Gaio no Bukun, and last up Morhan 2 Dai Jagd Get Veta on the PlayStation. That's all for this episode then, but please do help share this video by giving it a thumbs up if you can. I also release at least 2 videos a month, so to know exactly when they come out you should subscribe to me by clicking the link at the bottom of the screen there. Yeah, that one that says subscribe. You should click it. Really. Go on.
You're hurt. Let me heal you with magic.